A few years ago, my husband and I decided that we were going to be debt free. The main reason we decided that we were going to be debt free is number one, God told us that we needed to get out of debt. Number two, we knew that we wanted to be homeowners one day, and we decided that before we purchased the home, we were going to be consumer debt free, that we weren't going to have any other bills outstanding aside from, of course, you cannot avoid your water bill, your electric bill, your monthly car insurance, things of that nature. But we wanted to be consumer debt free, that so when we purchased a home, we only had to pay our mortgage. So we started our debt free journey. By the way, I'm Shantae Charles. I am a mother of four. I'm married, because you heard me say my husband and his mother lives with us as well. So we are a family of seven. When we started our journey to debt freedom, we were $30,000 in debt. The bulk of that debt was his truck. He owed $10,000, give or take a couple $100 or so, but he owed roughly $10,000. Now, when we decided to get out of debt, I wrote down everything that we owed, and then we had to come up with a plan of how we were going to tackle this debt. How are we going to get out of debt? And I previously heard of the Dave Ramsey method. He talks about the snowball method, and I decided, hey, that was not going to work for me. And the reason why I decided is because my husband, he works long hours. He works for an oil company. When we first started our journey to debt freedom, he worked 28 days on, 12 hours a day, and 11 days off. Now he works 11 days on, 3 days off, still 12 to 14 hours a day. And my husband doesn't have time to worry about how the bills are going to get paid when I'm available to do that. As long as he comes home and vehicles aren't repossessed and children have eaten, they have what they need, and we don't have eviction notice and the lights are on, he doesn't care how it gets paid. Just make sure it's paid. So that's why I said that wasn't going to work for me. But I knew that I needed to come up with a plan that was going to help me stay motivated with getting out of debt. So, what I decided to do was tackle our largest debt first, because I needed to see a big chunk of the debt gone as soon as possible. And I wanted to see that $535 added back into our account every month, and that could go towards something else. So I decided to pay off the truck first, because paying the small on the snowball method, Dave Ramsey recommends that you pay your small debt off first, and then go on to your next smallest debt, and so on until you're debt free. That wasn't going to work for me, because we were $30,000 in debt, and I needed to see a big chunk of that debt gone as quickly as possible in order for me to stay motivated and keep going. Now, we did do what he calls the beans and rice method, which doesn't mean that you literally only eat beans and rice, but it means that you're on a very strict budget, and you only do things that are a necessity. Now, we did do that while we were paying off my husband's truck. We took our kids out of taekwondo. They didn't do swimming lessons. They didn't do tennis. There was nothing extracurricular going on, and we didn't take any vacations. But after my husband's truck was paid off, we did reincorporate fun things back into our lives, because kids don't understand. Hey, one day I'm doing all these things I like to do. Now I'm not doing anything. But for that year, while we were paying down his truck, we cut off everything. Once the truck was paid off, we started reincorporating things. Now our kids go back to tennis, they take swim lessons, basketball, or what have you. The other thing is, I knew that living on a very strict, no fun, no thrills, no frills budget was going to be harder for me and my husband. My husband, like I said before, he works very hard, he works long hours. And when you're only paying bills and doing nothing extra, that gets very tiresome. You're like, I'm only going to work to pay bills. I don't have any fun. I can't do anything fun. So after we paid off his truck, we did start going on vacation. We took a family vacation last year. The kids do extracurricular activities again. We switched over to what is called a conscious spending plan, which basically a conscious spending plan means that you're conscious of where your money is going. Before you get paid or you get your money, you have a plan already in play of where your money is going to go, so that you're not wasteful, you're not wasting money, you know exactly where your dollars are going. So we switched over to that plan. We did spend a lot of the bulk of our money still went over to paying down debt. My husband, he took care of paying all the bills in the household, and my income went towards paying down our debt, because we wanted to get out of debt, but we also knew that we couldn't live on a very strict no frills, no thrills, beans and rice method, because it was either going to drive me up the wall or make me say, forget the whole thing of getting out of debt and no longer on the road to getting out of debt. And I knew that I needed to stay focused, that we said we were going to get out of debt before we purchased the home, and to stay focused. Now, I'm not going to say that it was completely easy, because it wasn't. It wasn't easy to say every dollar extra that we get is going to go towards paying off this truck. It was hard pulling my kids out of extracurricular activities, not doing anything fun, not going on vacations, not going out to eat. It was hard, but it was also easy, if that makes sense. It was hard, but at the same time, it was easy because we were focused on getting out of debt. We knew we did not want to be in debt forever. We knew we wanted to purchase a home, and we knew we wanted to go into home ownership, not having any consumer debt out there. We were focused on that. And I am happy to say now we are not completely out of debt, but we are down to $2,766 is what we currently owe. And I am super excited. I am ecstatic that in the next 7 to 12 days, we will be completely, well, I shouldn't say completely out of debt, because I do owe $6,200 on student loans, but those have been submitted for loan forgiveness. For loan forgiveness. So hopefully that comes through. But other than that, we have $2,766 left on our $30,000 debt, and we will be out of debt. And I am so grateful. I am so excited. And I hope this encourages you, whoever is watching this. I hope this encourages you, especially if you have multiple children, that you can get out of debt. You don't have to continue living paycheck to paycheck. You can get out of debt. You just have to come up with a plan that works for you. Now, the Dave Ramsey snowball method, it may work for you. You may be okay with living on just beans and rice, no thrills, no frills. All your money goes towards paying down your debt to get you out of debt quicker. But if that doesn't work for you, that's okay. Figure out what method of getting out of debt works for you and your family. And once you figure out that method, stick to it. And if you can't stick to it, don't completely stop your debt free journey, but make some adjustments. Make some adjustments, figure out what's going to work for you, make that adjustment, and continue your debt free journey. It is possible. It is possible. You can get out of debt. Like I said, we are a family of 7. We didn't start off as 7. My husband's mother used to live in Georgia, but unfortunately, she became ill and she came to live with us. But even prior to her coming to live with us, my husband was helping take care of his mother financially. So that played a part in us getting out of debt slower than what we would have liked to have gotten out of debt. But we stuck with the plan to get out of debt. We stuck to it. And again, we owe $2,766 out of $30,000. And I am super, super excited. And I hope this encourages you that you can get out of debt as well. Like I said, you just have to come up with a plan, figure out what works for you. If you start that plan and it isn't working, it's okay. Go back, readjust, but stick with the plan to get out of debt. And you can do it. If my husband and I, we did it with 4 kids from the age 3 to 10, which you probably hear in the background now playing. If we were able to do it and helping take care of his mother financially, you can do it too. You can do it. It is possible. Be encouraged. Again, my name is Shantae Charles, and until next time, have a great day.